Hey, what's the deal? It's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording right now, it is 11:53 a.m. That mean May 29th, 2025. You know what I mean? I'm back in I'm back in Fort Greene. You know what I mean? I had to travel all the way from Fort Greene to Brownsville to pay rent. You know what I mean? And the travel was fucking long. Like, from going to Fort Greene to Brownsville. You know what I mean? It's like, But I mean, shout out to Brownsville. I got people in Brownsville. I mean, I got people from the Ville and such. Now, I mean, I know mad people from the Ville. One thing I also want to mention, and I didn't even know about this too. Before I even get into topic, one thing I want to mention. This has nothing to do with wrestling, but I've been on YouTube. I've been hooked on YouTube for like. We're talking about almost the existence of it when it started, like back in 2005, right? I just happened to find it accidentally, in 2005 as I was looking for wrestling videos and video game stuff, and I just happened to stumble across YouTube. And, I remember a lot of the OGs that were from YouTube, a lot. And one, especially like with video games, and there was one who I was a fan of, by the name of Armac 21. I did not know he passed away. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, because I used to watch it. I used to watch a lot of his vids when it came down to video games and such. Because I first, seen him when he was talking about some dude named Chad Warden. This is a long time ago, a very, very long time ago. You know what I mean? But I had no idea that the guy passed away 2 years ago. I was like, so rest in peace to Armac 21. He was definitely one of my favorite video game YouTubers, along with people like Jedi 1 and such. Again, this is like the early inception of YouTube, like in the mid to late 2000s. Now, I mean, the golden years and such. This topic could be, for my discussion video on Sunday, but I can mix it up with what I've been seeing the last couple of months and such. Actually, no, the last year, right, going into 2024, and I mentioned how I have my Mount Rushmore of tag teams. And the reason why I bring it 2024 up is because I'm going somewhere with this. Okay. I mentioned a lot of my Mount Rushmore of tag teams, right? From the Legion of Doom to the Steiner Brothers to Harlem Heat to the Hardys. You know what I'm saying? The Dudley Boys. A lot of them are basically from my era, right? I'm trying to think. There are others too that I'm trying to think of. I'm not gonna say Hollywood Blondes because they were not really a tag team, but they worked really great together. Let me see who else. Like it was basically at those. And fuck it, I'll throw in Demolition too. I love Demolition. I thought Demolition was fucking great. I thought the tag team of Demolition was fucking fantastic, boy. Know what I mean? But, and you know what? I also throw in Overhyped and British Bulldog because I think they worked well as a tag team. Whenever the discussion of greatest tag teams of all time come up, a lot of people for some weird reason put the Young Bucks in there. And I'm like, the Young Bucks has nothing. I'm sorry. The Young Bucks is, hands down, the most overrated tag team in the history of the business. I'm sorry. I am absolutely fucking sorry. The Young Bucks, they're not bad wrestlers. They're not. Matt and Nick Jackson are not bad wrestlers. But they're legit the same fucking team. They're legit the same fucking team. And you know what? I also throw in other people in there too. The New Day, the Usos. The Young Bucks, the Young Bucks have They have no gimmick. They have no gimmick. You know, all they are is indie spot fest monkeys. That's all they are. They're indie spot fest monkeys. That's all they are. They're indie spot fest monkeys who basically, on a whim, gets tag team championships. On a whim. And they're horrible. I'm sorry, they're horrible. Like, you can, and I'm going to tell you why I bring in 2024. Because of the CM Punk shit. Right? The CM Punk shit. Now, the Young Bucks, and I understand the Young Bucks' idols are Shawn Michaels, right? And Triple H. Right? But the thing is, with the Young Bucks, none of them have to possess. Like they dwell too much on, the whole DX NWO shit that this is all that they really are. This is all they are. You know what I mean? Even with the Bullet Club, like they really did not have like any oomph. Like Matt and Nick Jackson doesn't have any oomph in their character. Like ever since the CM Punk shit, right? And ever since, Tony Khan showed the footage and such, and with the Young Bucks, the way how they changed their gear and everything, to me, it really doesn't they could have had a chance to do something with their EVP gimmicks, right? Like smart asses and such. They couldn't even play into that. Like, the Young Bucks are just, in my personal opinion, just a plain tag team. They are a plain tag team. Shit. The fucking Briscoes are better than the Young Bucks. I'm sorry. But the Briscoes are better than the Young Bucks. The Motor City Machine Guns. Here's what the Briscoes and the Motor City Machine Guns have in common with each other. They have an identity. They both have identity. Right? They both stick out. What the fuck do the Young Bucks? Well, what the fuck are the Young Bucks? What are they? What the fuck are they? I mean, what are they? You gotta ask yourself that. Like, what the fuck are the Young Bucks? They're just indie spot fest wrestlers who basically, who, for what I understand, are hard to work with, and they rub people the wrong way. But, a lot of wrestlers do that. But the thing is, there's no way you can consider them. First and foremost, you can't consider them one of the greatest tag teams of all time if they never even stepped foot in the WWE. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Triple H even wants them. I mean, look, never say never. Never say never. You know what I mean? Like, how would the Young Bucks fare in WWE? I mean, with Triple H's booking, I think they would do fine. They would do absolutely fine. But I think with the whole CM Punk thing, I don't know how that will play out. But again, we never know. But the thing is, right? The thing is, how the fuck can you call them one of the greatest tag teams of all time if they again, what's so fucking fascinating about the Young Bucks? What's so fascinating? Like the same shit that we see from the Young Bucks, we see with fucking Fraxium. Tag teams like Fraxium. Like Fraxium and, I mean, come on, man. Hold on, let me sip this water. Hold on. You see that, like Fraxium and shit like that. I don't know how people can sit there and say that the Young Bucks are one of the greatest tag teams, in wrestling history. They're the most overrated. I'm sorry, they are the most overrated, hands down. Because again, shit. It's bad enough that when they're on TV, people change the channel. I mean, there you go, B. There you go, son. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. The Young Bucks is just, they're fucking horrible. There's no gimmick. They have no charisma. They basically, they're just, someone said something that I didn't even think about, right? Someone said that the Young Bucks kind of remind them of You know the Roxbury Boys from Saturday Night Live? That's what they kind of remind them of. You know, with the baby, don't hurt me. You know what I mean? But that's basically what the fucking Young Bucks are. You know, they're supposed to be a parody, right, of tag teams. But why the fuck would you want to be a parody? That makes no fucking sense. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. I mean, the Young Bucks, there's no way that you can consider the Young Bucks, you know, the greatest tag team or one of the greatest tag teams ever in pro wrestling history, when you got a shitload of tag teams that, you know, that especially the ones that I named. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that I named, where every single one of them actually split. Almost every single one of them split, with the exception of the Road Warriors, right? With the exception of the Road Warriors. I mean, look what happened to Steiner Brothers. Look what happened to Harlem Heat. Look what happened to fucking, of course, the Outsiders. You know what I mean? Demolition never split. Yeah, they did. They did. You know what I mean? Because Smash had so many gimmicks. But, again, you know, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, you know, the Hardys. Again, the Young Bucks, in my personal opinion, are hands down the most overrated tag team in pro wrestling history. All they do is number spot fest. There's no gimmicks. There's no fucking wrestling IQ there. It's just nothing but spot fest. That's what they really get most off of their tandem. But hey, listen, you know, they're talking about killing the business. And says, remember, that was their motto, killing the business, right? And oh yeah, that's another thing too, right? Like, yeah, they people put them up there because of the merch that they used to have, right? It's not like that no more. It's definitely not like that no more, right? I mean, it is what it is, you know. And I'm pretty sure someone in the comments is gonna defend them. Oh, you know, he's just a hater. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it a stack, man. Keep it a fucking stack. Like, they're not even, like, all those tag teams that I mentioned, right, were legendary. The Young Bucks is not legendary at all. Legendary to the indies, but to the casual viewers and such, they're just channel changes. I'm about to be out, guys. You know what I'm saying? I definitely will be coming with another video tonight for sure. You know what I mean? This weather look a little, it's getting a little better. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace!